My hair's not hairing today. Hello everyone, welcome to another video. I'm Tiffany, and today we're going to talk about everything I made this week. Sneak peek. I'm joined by my cat. He's on the table, so if the camera shakes, I do apologize. But he's perching, not much I can do about it. First things first, I actually did a yarn haul this week. But I was so excited to use the yarn that I bought that I already used most of it. So I don't have a yarn haul. However, I did get, I want to say 8 skeins. We went to Hobby Lobby. I was in dire need of some chocolate brown, which I didn't use, but I used a lot of the other yarn that I bought. I'm in dire need of chocolate brown for 2 projects. I wanted to buy 5 skeins, but Hobby Lobby only had 1. So I only could buy 1. Bit unfortunate because I have a lot of things I want to make. So I might be going back to Hobby Lobby, not this week, but next week, only because they are the only store in my whole town with a Michaels, that has brown yarn. Unfortunately, Michaels does not carry the dark brown. They only carry the tan. That's not gonna do it. So, but enough rambling about yarn that I didn't buy, or I did buy, but I can't show you because I already used. Let's get into this week's makes. So, if you saw last week's video, you will know that I made a couple of octopuses. That sounds better, maybe. What do you say? I made a couple of octopuses from All by Jade, and I struggled with the pattern. I made one octopus that had 10 tentacles, and I made another octopus that had 7 tentacles. Neither were correct. I wanted to try the pattern one last time, and so that's what I did. And it turned out right. It has 8 tentacles. However, I did do this one pattern wrong again. I added an extra row here. So that's a bit unfortunate, but I think it still looks okay. The trick that I learned, if you are doing the same pattern and you struggle with this pattern, there are 40 around, and you want 8 tentacles. So you want to make sure you're using 5 stitches per tentacle, I think. Yeah, so you have single stitch, double stitch, single stitch, skip. I don't know. That's what I did, and it worked perfect. Math isn't mathing. Is it 40? Do you have 36? No, that wouldn't make sense. 8 times 4 is 36. You would have 36. You have 36 stitches here, not 40. And then, yeah, 4 stitches per tentacle, and then it should turn out perfect for you. I did the math beforehand, and I'm like, this is what I'm doing. And I think that's when I added an extra row. But hey, it works. I did an orange just to use up the rest of the anchor octopus yarn. So I have 2 octopus this color, super cute set. This guy I will be selling for 30 because it is more of an advanced pattern, and it's pretty big. Head for comparison. But yeah, pretty big. Takes about an hour and 15, hour and 20 minutes to make. So it's a decent long make. If you're new here, I charge based off of my time, and I don't account for materials or anything like that. I just do whatever the pattern takes. If it takes an hour, then I charge $20 and so forth. And I do usually round to the 15-minute mark. So if it takes me an hour and 20 minutes, I round down to an hour and 15. I just think that's fair-ish, fair enough. I don't know. Let me know your thoughts. How do you price? Because there's so many different ways. What works best for you? Yeah. First make. Then, if you look behind me, I made a lot of cats, especially Loaf cats. I didn't make any other types of cats, just Loaf cats. First, I made this beautiful like maroon, and I gave it silver eyes. Then this one turned out so cute. I don't know why I went maroon. I was trying to go like more realistic colors, but I went with the maroon. I still have to lint roll all of them, so please ignore the fluff. I actually also need to add the whiskers. Sorry, there's my cat walking on the table, shaking the camera. I still need to add all of the whiskers, and I should have time this week to do that. I'll update you in next week's video if I actually had time. But yeah, so this is kind of my own pattern. I looked at a pattern on Ribbler and I thought that pattern was just a little bit too big, so I did modify it a tad. I do increase up to 40 with 8 single crochet in a magic circle because 8 works better for me. If it's 6, then it's very pointed and I don't like that look, especially when it's supposed to be almost flat. So I did single crochet. So I did increases up to 40 stitches around, which was, I think, 5 increases. Do the ears, and then I did the ears in one row, and then in this next row, I did the front paws, 8 back paws, decrease, add a tail. That was just kind of what I ended up doing. If you're wanting to make Loaf cats, that's what I did. Turned out pretty fast. I did these guys in about, well, first one I did in about an hour and a half, and then I started ranking up the speed. But by the end, I think I was making them in about an hour. But because they use up quite a bit of yarn and they're decent size, head for comparison, I will be charging $30 for them. I know it's a lot, but there's quite a bit of yarn in it. They are very popular. They're a really decent size. And they did get the special sparkly eyes. And then there also is some embroidery work. So I think that does add up time. Compared to my squish cats, which I did a couple of videos ago, it's in the I tested 5 patterns in a week. That video, I did squish cats. These are bigger than those. So, yeah. 1 maroon, 1 tuxedo, 1 orange, 1 black, and 1 blue. So all of these will be $30. So if you're counting so far, we are at $180. Okay, and then I am a huge cat lover, so I wanted to make some more cheap items because I do have an event actually the end of next week. I have a lot of prep to do, my goodness. But I wanted to make some more $5 items because obviously those are the best selling items because they're cheap. So I made some mini Loaf cats. These super fast, work up in about 15 minutes. The tail is crocheted in. Actually, it's a chain, so it's not even crochet in, it's just a chain. Add in some eyes and do some paws. You can't really see them. I did mini baubles, but yeah, they turned out super cute. I did 2 maroon, 2 yellow. This one, I crocheted the baubles in the wrong spot, so it just kind of looks like the cat's doing this, which is fine because cats do that. Did 2 blue, 2 tuxedo. I crocheted I embroidered the noses in, and I don't like it. I think I'm gonna rip it out. I have a Palm Street tonight, and I already put the listing up with them in, so I think I'm just gonna leave it tonight. talk about it on live. If you don't follow me on Palm Street, go check it out, link in the description. But yeah, I think I'm gonna rip all of them out because they don't look good. Like, that nose is above the eyes. I'm not a fan. I think the face is just too small, but that's just me. So in total, I made 1 octopus, 10 mini loaf cats, and 5 large loaf cats. That is a grand total of $230. Yeah, I kind of really slacked at the beginning of this week and couldn't figure out what I wanted to make. And then I started making loaf cats on like Wednesday. And then it's Sunday now, so I didn't make anything for the first like 3 days of this week, which is a bit of a bummer, but it happens. Next week, I'm gonna kill it because let me tell you, I don't work my 9 to 5 all week. However, I do have the 3 kids at home because it's summer, so I will be watching them, but I'm hoping I have some crochet time. I also need to catch up on chores, which will hopefully also make me get to crochet more later. Oh yeah, another thing that I actually did this week, but I didn't finish, so I'm not putting it in today's total. I started working on a shirt for my mom. And then I actually want to make a shirt this week, so stay tuned to see if I finish it. But this shirt that I'm making has granny squares, and you need 4 of them that are 18 inches wide. And then you like connect them so that they're diamonds shaped. And then it kind of like goes around, and then this will be like the strap like here, so you can kind of get the visual. So yeah, it'll be like here, so you can kind of get the visual. And then this will come down, and then I have to angle the camera down. Okay, so shirt's up here, and then it kind of like just comes together. So then it's pretty flowy down here, and it's really cute pattern and looks super simple. We're gonna see once I get all these granny squares done. The reason I didn't finish it though is because I thought 4 skeins of yarn that have 120 grams in each skein, 120 yards in each skein, I thought that was gonna be enough. I was so wrong. That's not even enough for 1 square. So, well, 1 square is like 150 yards, 160 yards. So I'm gonna need like 6 skeins, which is fine. I'll just go back to the store and get more. Hopefully it's the same color lot or similar. But all that being said, I will not be finishing this shirt for this week's video, obviously. Hopefully I do for this next week, but we'll see, because like I said, I have a lot to do. But I'm gonna go do all of that stuff. So we'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching. I appreciate you. Let me know in the comments. Can we do like an emoji thing? My comments have been kind of slacking, and I kind of want to see some more activity in the comments. Can we do like a fruit emoji if you're watching this and you made it this far in the video? Yay! Okay, bye everyone!